In today's episode, I sit down with Lex and Angel and we answer a few questions on is it okay to use a customer's power and water? And we all give our own opinions on what we did when we first started. We talk about how we deal with picky customers, and you'll learn a bunch of little small things from each one of us on what we did in our business. And if you are looking to start and grow your detailing business, then check out my ultimate guide to starting your detailing business. There's over 10,000 words of pure content in that guide. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the description box down below, or if you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, then just click the show notes and download it there. Let's go ahead and get started with this fantastic episode. Welcome back to the Detailing Business Class podcast, where you'll learn proven tactics and strategies on sales, marketing, and operations to grow your business. I'm your host, Oscar Gill, and my goal is to elevate you as a detailer and business owner to the next level. And welcome to a new episode. Join with me here are the infamous, the one and onlys, Lex and Angel. All right, so today we're going to answer a couple questions. Each one of us will kind of have a different question that we answered. That way we can keep it under 30 minutes or so. So first question here is, this will be for Lex and myself. And then Angel, I'll kind of, you can add in your 2 cents here. Is, do you charge a traveling fee? So, Angel, Lex, you're the one that talks to the customers 99% of the time. So, if you, I know because customers ask, do you charge for us to go mobile, or do you charge to go mobile, or is there a mobile fee? What's the breakdown
typically, right off the get-go, they just said, let me get pricing for mobile versus drop-off availability. That's what they asked me. So we don't charge a mobile fee. We don't charge $20 to go here, $40 there, $50 there. But there is a minimum that our customers have to spend with us in order for us to come out to wherever they're located. So for example, if they're like 30 minutes from here, at least it has to be at least $300 in services with us. If they are an hour away from us, they have to spend at least $500 in services with us. We're just not going to charge, $50, $60 just to come out. That's the way we do things here.
Yeah. So I implemented that because I remember once I went out. Well, multiple reasons actually, but me personally, I just don't like adding fees or whatever. And it's like if we were to drive, if we take 30 minutes to get somewhere, and we charge a mobile fee. But the service is just a premium wash and engine cleaning, which is $150. Even if we tack on a mobile fee, it's still not worth it. So that's why we make it where it's like there has to be a minimum threshold for us to go out based on how far you are. A recent update that we did is I made sure I put that on mostly all the pages, because remember some people would be like, you didn't include it, you didn't say that on your website. It just says you come mobile to whatever area.
To wherever.
So I updated all pages. There's just to make it clear, there is like a minimum price point. Angel, for your business, whenever you go out mobile, you tack on a little mobile fee?
I do not. I actually took y'all's strategy, and just if they are further away, I will just require a minimum, and I make that clear whenever I'm emailing the customer.
Yeah, that way, because I'd rather even if we tack on the mobile fee, it's just still not worth it. It's still not worth it to go service them however far for 25, 50, but just not worth it. And at that point, if we charge, call it even $35, $50 for a mobile fee, it's like we'll just add the engine bay cleaning at that point. Tack on a service, not a fee for it,
Yeah.
Okay, so next question, Angel, you can start off with this one. Is how would you build your detailing arsenal on a budget? Now, budget is always contextual, right? Someone can start off with a $10,000 budget. Someone can start off with a $500 budget. So budget is all contextual, based on your resources, whatever. Because someone could start off with a full-time job making $80,000 a year, and their budget is probably going to be a little different than someone that's 20 years old starting with a budget with their business with a whatever job that they have. So with you're the newest recent person that started a business not too long ago. What was your quote-unquote budget? Just rough off the cuff, how much did you start off with?
So, okay, I'm going to try to not take too long, but at the time I was a bartender, obviously. I think everyone knows that. And I was taking money. I was putting aside a couple money every week to buy products. The first thing I ever bought was a pressure washer, a gas powered pressure washer. Looking back, probably not the best idea, but that was the first thing I bought. I think it was like $220, and that was all from my budget. That was the only thing I had. I used the stock hose, I used the stock wand and everything, and then literally I bought 2 buckets from Home Depot, and that's it. That's all I did. I did exterior washes like that. And
that's all you had for the most part. What about the wash? You already had that?
Huh? So I just had microfiber towels, and I had the 2 buckets, and I had the pressure washer.
What about soap? Did you have
Dawn
soap?
dish soap.
For real?
I was using the dish.
That's like first and foremost, like
dude,
was that already like a customer's vehicle, like on your personal, your mom's service?
So these were all, I'm gonna say customers because they were all paying me, but these were all my friends' vehicles.
Yeah.
And I say friends, but I have like a lot of friends, or everybody was willing to come. So for sure, I was servicing like a lot of vehicles in that like 1 month where I was like, hey, I just got started.
Yeah. And that was legit, like the buckets, dish, Dawn soap, and the pressure washer.
Didn't like Dawn dish soap, the pressure washer, and microfiber towels. I washed the exterior. I had like, it wasn't even like a 2 bucket wash method. I just had buckets with soap in them. I would dunk in with microfiber towel, boom, wash the vehicle like that. I washed the wheels like that. I didn't have no brushes. I would literally
with the wash towel,
wash towel, wash the wheel. I actually still kind of do that today. I keep a microfiber in my wash bucket.
Yeah.
Good technique.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I did. Like I did that for like 2-3 months until eventually I serviced enough vehicles where I was like, hey, you know what? It kind of makes sense because it's like I wasn't so focused on like having any type of overhead or just buying products that I literally just I just did the best with what I had. And eventually I was like, hey, I have a budget now to start buying stuff. So I was like, okay. And then that's whenever I started separating incomes. So I was no longer taking money that I was making from bartending. Because all of the money was generated income from actually detailing other vehicles. And then just slowly, I started buying literally things that I felt would make it easier. So the first thing I bought was a longer pressure washer hose. Because at that time, I literally had to move the pressure washer around the vehicle so the hose could reach to this wheel.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was in the beginning. So then I just started buying things to make my life easier. So I bought a longer pressure washer hose, way easier. No longer had to move the pressure washer. I bought some detail brushes. Okay. Then I bought a dedicated wheel bucket and a wash bucket. As like the more and more I learned. And then I just slowly started buying wash mitts. And then I just kept doing that. Like
you made that same service easier instead of getting more things to offer more services.
Yeah. Like I wasn't focused on any of that. Like literally I just started off just exterior washes. I didn't even have a vacuum.
Oh.
Like no, I wasn't even offering into it.
It was like
just
let me just wash.
Let me just get this washing under 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was just a wash. Yeah. Like $30-$40. But I did like a lot of those $30-$40 washes.
Were those all at your house or mobile?
All of them at my house.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I did one mobile and it was, dude.
It's crazy.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
you have to pack everything into whatever.
Now it's not that bad. I mean, it still sucks because it's like now I have actual equipment.
Yeah.
So now it's like I put all of that in the truck or sometimes in my car.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it was just terrible. So I just focused with what I had. I didn't worry about having the best things or detail brushes. Everything just came along. Before I even knew it, I was like, dude, I have a whole setup now.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa, like so yeah.
So you're super. Yeah, that's a good way. Super. I mean, the little whatever $280 you may have, $300 you may have spent for the pressure washer and stuff, and then from there it was just whatever you made from the detailing, you would put it back into the business. Lex, all the way back to when you started, what was your budget if you could remember?
Ooh, well, I kind of had like a jump start because I used to work at a lot of car washes, and me and my dad will sometimes get things from there. We wouldn't steal them; they're just leftover things. We'll have some soap here, and we just kind of over the years gathered up like a whole arsenal of stuff.
Yeah. Because you're my bad. You're also very resourceful. Because I remember like when you talked about your pressure washer setup, you had a 50-gallon drum that you got from the car wash. It was free.
They gave it away, and we're like, we'll take that.
Yeah.
And then my dad kind of made like a spigot out of it. I told him how to do it. He's the one that did it. I was like, this is what you need to do. And he's like, oh, I got it. He did it. And now we had a whole water tank. But we had a lot of stuff from car washes that people would just throw away or the car wash wouldn't need. They won't ever use, and we'll take it. So I got a head start, a pretty good jump start with things like that. But once I started buying things, I got a little bit into the whole like rabbit hole of just buying things you don't really need. Like, oh, this product, I need that product. I need this product, when I had like already things that I already use. But I want to say once I went legit, like own business, like taking it seriously, I want to say I spent like about like $500 to start up.
Yeah, to start up. That's the key part. Like just to start up.
Just to start up, which was like a little extractor.
Like an aqua or like a bizzle?
No, well, we already had one, but it was like more like fixing it to make it work as it's supposed to.
That's also true, because even maybe not the startup, but that whole mentality, because your generator was also, you got it secondhand on Craigslist or whatever, and then you fixed it, and you got it for like $300.
$300. The Predator 3500 generator that I spent on that one, when I think brand new was like $600-800. I found it off of like this Facebook Marketplace. Some dude that just fixes them, resells them. So I was resourceful in that part, where I wouldn't go to the store, buy a brand new, be like, who got one for sale that I don't need it, or like whatever, and then I'll buy it off of that.
Yeah, no, that's good though. That's being resourceful. Like that stretches your pocket a lot further. Yeah, because for me, a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to buy nothing used, bro. Like, what if it what if it's like, because you fixed it, no? Like, wasn't it broken?
When I bought it, it wasn't broken. I guess it was broken. He picked it up, fixed it, and then resold it. That's what he did. But man, that thing lasted me till now.
Yeah, but like with me, I'd be like, nah, I'll just go buy a new one. And then there goes me like spending the $600-800 or whatever to. No, I think it's more than that, because the Predator.
Now it's more probably.
The Predator 2000 was like $600. So that means the 3500 must have been like $1,200 at the time.
Probably.
I don't know.
Man,
but being resourceful. Yeah, resourceful.
I was being resourceful, trying to spend too much. I did go low a little bit into spending too much whenever I got a little too excited about these homes.
Yeah, dude, because I found myself doing that too with anything. Like if I get into like, even like when we started thinking about wraps or PPA, like I would just go like car supply. I would be like wraps, and then be like click. I guess I need all this, right? Yeah, like it's very easy to get into that.
For sure. I had products left over that I just never used, and then there was times where I would look at equipment and be like, why did I even buy that? Like, I have this. Yeah. No, so be careful. That part.
No, that happened to me, especially whenever it became more of a system. When it was like, I remember like the first 4 months where it was like $1,500 every month, and then at the end of the month I was like, oh snap, dude! Like he said, car supply warehouse. I was like, what am I gonna buy? What am I gonna buy? And that's whenever I bought the shop vac. And then I should have bought the electric pressure washer such a long time ago. I don't know why it took me so long. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had the pressure washer with the.
I just wanted to, and actually, it doesn't even work anymore. So.
But that's I guess the learning point of that is like it's like prioritizing what you need, because again, like bro, like anytime I get in, like getting into like anything for me, like anything where like I get excited about, I think that everyone is. It's like you go to Amazon where you're like. click. And because you want to because you're into it, but it's like one, like take a breather, like don't be in a rush, like to purchase, like slow down a little bit, like do you really need all of this? So I'll add everything to the cart, whatever. Like I don't care how much it might be like $2,400, but then I'm like, okay, from that list, what do I really need? And from $2,400, it'll drop down to like 300, right? Because what's the actual thing that I need right now to do this next job? Because then in my head I'll be like, well, I don't need that, because what if this other customer comes and they have this kind of setup? So we need this to make it's like no, like,
it's a lot of what ifs
for the next vehicle that's coming in right now. What do we need? That's what I
I think it's hard to gauge, because one of those exciting moments I had when I had good revenue for me at that point, I was like, dude, I'm gonna go buy a polisher, and I went to go buy a polisher, compounds, everything. I think in total it was like $500 with pads, compounds, polisher. Like $500-600, and I promise you, for the first 3 months, I did not use the polisher at all. At all. I mean, I was practicing on my car, other cars.
But you bought it for like what if someone comes to me with correction and whatever.
But I mean, now I do use it. It's also
the timing of it. Yeah, because because there's stuff where I purchase. It could be anything for like content, for whatever, or for detailing, and it's like we don't use it for months, and then something happens, like, oh look, I got it already. I got it, like, you know.
Yeah.
So you can always justify it. Yeah. So that's definitely gonna happen.
But definitely be resourceful if you can.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one is being resourceful. That will get you a lot further than
if you want a 50-gallon drum, go to your local car wash. I'm pretty sure they got some there for you.
Yeah, because from when we bought it from Tractor Supply, the 100-gallon water tank that we had, or if you buy it from Tractor Supply, like an actual place, like they run you a couple $100, like $300 to $700. Whereas, if you could find any drum that's just empty, you put it out and you drill the 3/4, whatever it is, and then
there's videos on YouTube. Just look it up.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
You might spend like $30.
Yep. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Here is okay. So this person left the comment, says, "I feel embarrassed to use the customer's power and water. Is that okay?" Angel had a pretty big reaction to it when I asked the question earlier before we started the podcast. So we'll start off with you, Angel, especially because you're the one with the up and coming business. Do you feel embarrassed by using the customer's power and water?
Absolutely not. Every single customer that I have service mobile, I have hooked up to their water. I've hooked up to their power. Man,
not an issue.
Like never been an issue. I make it real clear in the email or text message or phone call that, hey, just to make sure. It's like the last step for me to book in a customer into my schedule. Whenever I text, call, or email, I'll iterate. I'm like, hey, okay, so all we ask is that we have a one source of power and water, and we'll be good to go. If they say yes, we're on. If they say no, well then.
Okay, so on that part then, they don't have it. They're at an apartment or they're at their work location. What happens then?
Well, I wouldn't know because I've never serviced anyone in an apartment. Luckily, I haven't been put in a situation where I've had to. I think me personally, I just wouldn't be able to service the customer unless they were like, hey, I have a spigot over here that you can hook up to, and there's like an outlet outside.
Yeah.
If it were to work out, maybe. But as far as like going out to homes, dude, like and most of the times, they'll like before I even get there, I won't even ask. They're like, water's right there, the power's over there, extension cord, like they're always
no problem whatsoever.
Like never at all. And we're talking. I want to say like here in the Houston area, I've gone to like nicer neighborhoods to go mobile. It's never an issue.
Yeah,
like,
you would think because like they're like more not higher end, but like it is more like higher end or nicer. You're like, oh, they expect us to not use it, but then they're like, no, it's right there. Like use it.
Use it. So 100%. Don't be embarrassed. Show up with your setup. I mean, it's all about the results, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
and another good thing, because I remember like now that there's like this whole wave of like battery powered units and everything, because back then like maybe like 6 years ago, I think like the only battery the two battery powered pressure washers that I knew of was that Works pressure washer and then that Sunjo like 3600 whatever that was battery powered. Those are the only ones that I would really see. But now there's like a lot more battery powered everything. Like you could almost go almost go without a generator, almost depending on what you're doing.
For sure.
But for exterior work, you could have it like maybe not for like heavy correction that's like gonna take a while. But you could use a battery powered polisher, a battery powered vacuum, a battery powered pressure washer, a battery powered blower. What else exterior? A pump you can have like the normal ones, but you could do a full exterior detail. And as far as a water source, you could buy a 5-gallon container like I used to do, and you just use that as your source, and you siphon it up through there, or you just use a regular bucket. And it's like you can actually now. Granted, you got to pay for that stuff and such, but like if you wanted that's another option. But yeah, even for us, Lex, right? Like
we pull up with our huge van still, and as soon as we get off, there's a spigot over there, power over there. And I'm like, oh no, we're good. We got everything. Yeah. But if we do need it, run out of water or whatever, we'll use it. Yeah,
and at this point, it's like, it's hard for us to use a customer's power and water just because our entire setup is already set to go off of our generator and water tank. So we'd have to unplug and like untangle a bunch of things if we wanted to connect it. So we haven't. Like last time, remember when we did the truck and the pressure washer hose busted balls, right? And on that one, like it's like, well, why don't we hook it up to the pressure washer it's like it doesn't reach, and it's like, well, you could take. It's like, nah, just scratch.
I need to connect the pump. I need to connect the hose.
Just scratch everything. Let's just use the garden hose. That's it. Like, let's not do the foam. That's like we had to switch up the entire wash process, right? Like
yeah, for
everything
sure.
had to change. But it's like just chill. Like
Yeah.
let's just use the garden hose. We're gonna have to change it, but it's okay because that's easier than trying to like do all this stuff here to get the job
Even
done.
though you have a full rig, always carry a garden hose, man.
Yeah,
you
that's
never
true.
know.
Yeah.
Even a vacuum, like a better part of
Better
vacuum,
part, yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It'll
So
come in
so
handy.
in that case, and so there are situations where like given our setup that like we'll use the customer's power and water when necessary and if necessary. Like
Yeah.
like we couldn't use our extractor on the customer's home. I mean maybe we could, but the chances of us blowing the circuit is like absolutely sky high because it draws too much power.
Yeah.
So in some cases, yeah, like if you had like even with the VX5000, the steamer,
Oh, yeah.
like that one was, that's why I stopped using it because like oh damn I'm tripping the customers breakers over here. And it's like
Yeah.
you know it's kind of not embarrassing, but it's like my bad.
Yeah,
like,
sorry.
go back to the breaker and like flip the
Yeah.
circuit again.
No.
Did you want to?
Yeah, I'd say if you're looking to start a business and you're concerned with that, just rule it out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no inconvenience to the customer because it's not like they're gonna hook up your equipment to their own.
Yeah, and I've heard the argument of like, are you gonna give them a discount because they're using their power and water? It's like, and like, let's say you actually wanted to like, sure, like let me compensate you in discount for the amount of money that I'm using. Like, okay, take off a penny then.
Yeah.
Like the amount of water and power you draw is based on like the usage and how much they pay.
Portion of the whole month.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it is
It's
nothing. It's a
nothing.
drop in like as far as like you'd have to do something really dumb to like
Yeah,
be more than like $1 of like usage,
yeah,
So it's like it's a nonchalant like and it's one of those things like if you have a customer that like nickels and dimes you for using their power and water, it's like bro, trust me, you don't want to deal with that kind of customer.
Yeah.
Like you really don't.
yeah.
You want the customer to always like that's just a good vibe, easy to work with. That's it, like. And we've all done it like when you talk to a customer on the phone and like you're already kind of like battling them.
Yeah.
It's like on the price or the service or what's included. And you already know in your head it's like this is gonna be a tough one. Like this customer's already kind of like not
I mean,
work with. Go ahead.
like when you're first starting off, I feel like the customer is gonna know that they're inquiring a small business owner. I mean, especially if it's like a side hustle. I've literally taken a customer home, like shuttled a customer to their house.
Yeah.
10 minutes down the road, whenever I got to the house, she brought me like something to drink. She was so
Yeah.
cool. I went back to my house and then she came pick up the vehicle from my house. She was super happy.
Yeah.
5-star review, tipped. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
and with that one, like it's also how you carry yourself all throughout the process, right? Like if you act like a small time, don't know what you're doing, don't really care, and don't really care about the customer, like they'll probably resist. But if you're very professional, courteous, if you're giving your best foot forward on everything,
yeah.
people feel like they know when it's like this person is genuine, this person's actually trying, versus like oh no, like like I've had a lot. I mean, all of us have. Where like you talk to someone and you're like, dude, you don't care about this. Like you don't care about the job, about the process, about the results, about me, about whatever. Like you're just like, all right, like like you can feel that level of attention or lack thereof. Okay, so next we'll go to the last one here. We'll kind of do a speed round on this last question. Is how do you deal with picky customers who find flaws in your work? Angel, let's go with your business. It's kind of cheating because you have all the experience from here now. But you, I want to hear your opinion or your thoughts on like what do you do when you have a super picky customer? Even if you haven't, that's fine too. But just based off of you, what do you do?
So I haven't had that many, but I have had a couple. I think I've talked about it with y'all before. Did a paint, and we made a podcast about this. I did a paint enhancement on the F-150, my first ever one, for $650, and that was a while ago when we did that one.
Yeah.
He was kind of picky from when I got there. Especially he was kind of hesitant on price. And I just tried to like do my best to explain to him like what he is paying for, like just break down the process. I did a couple of test spots for him. I think with customers like that, at least what I did, I wasn't trying to be very argumentative with him. I didn't want to like combat him on anything that he had to say. I did my best to like explain the process very clear. At the end, he did mention some like water spots on the rims. Because they were pretty bad. There were some water spots on the rims, and he's like, "Oh, were those not gonna come out in the wash?" And I was like, I just had to explain to him like,
Yeah.
and at that time I wasn't that experienced either, so I was kind of nervous.
Yeah.
I kind of explained to him. I did my best to explain to him that like, oh, those could be etchings. I mean, those would be very difficult to remove with just your typical wash process. I was like the rims were like damaged too and stuff. So it was like at that point, that's something that would just probably need to be replaced. And luckily, I mean, he understood, but just I would say just try to be as courteous as you can to the customer. Try to cater. Don't be argumentative. I mean, unless you think that the customer is doing something like on purpose to to nag you down on a price or something. Because some customers genuinely don't understand that. Like, whoa, why didn't that come out? Like, I wish that would have came out, but it's like, as a detailer, you understand that sometimes. Perfection is not attainable. So I would say, just try to be as courteous as you can. That's what I did, and I think it worked out well. I mean, I've never had like any bad reviews. He actually left a review.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lex, real quick, on your part, like,
yeah, you want to try to spot that on before you even start working with them, just off of the conversation, to save you stress and time, and all that. It goes back to what you said. You kind of feel the vibe when you talk to a customer, if they're gonna be that way. So if you do feel that energy, just I would say either avoid it. Sometimes you can't. Best thing you could do before the detail, very, very thoroughly set the expectations. Maybe more than you've ever done with any other customer.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like directly pointing stuff out and telling them to look at it and be like, that's not coming off. Just so you know, these stains here they're still gonna be there by the time I'm done. Maybe be that excessive in setting the expectations. If you do feel they're gonna be that way towards you. But if you get stuck at the end of a detail and they start picking out some things that you just can't remove, definitely don't get upset. Customers sometimes they just don't even know, like you said, they don't understand that some certain things can be removed and stuff, or cleaned away. So don't get upset. Just try to explain it as the best as possible. If they're still unhappy, it's always better to, if you can, lower the price a little bit to make them get the happy meter up a little more, and then never service them again.
Yeah.
Just get out of there.
Yeah, and I think the most important part with that is identifying them, that they're going to be picky. Because there's different levels of picky. Like, there's a different picky of, like, I really like my vehicle. Like, I take care of it a lot. I wash it every weekend. Like, are you the right person? And it's like, they just were like, they'll pay the price. Are you the right person, right? And then you have the other person that's like, just just hard to work with. And it's like, it is so much better, because I totally get it. Like, there's a lot of times where you're in that situation in your business where, like, you need all the money, it's hard to get customers, and you're like, you'll literally take on whoever, whatever, because you need the money. But Lex and I have gone through this a lot, where like the customer is asking for too much or being a little unrealistic or whatever, and we're like, bro, don't even try to, like, let's not even book this in. Like, even if it were that price point, by the way they're talking, by the way whatever they're expecting from us, like, it's not going to be worth it to put up with this customer. So let's just not deal with this at all. Like, like, we'll get another opportunity later. Like, let's just not book this one in. Because then if you actually service it, it's going to be a pain throughout the entire process. They're going to nitpick everything. They're going to ask for more. They're going to fight you on price. And it's like, bro, the stress that comes with is not worth the price that they're paying, and the price that we're paying for, like, just our happiness. Yeah. So, okay, I'll go ahead and end it right there. Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you on the next one.
All right.